National Signing Day 2022 brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors rolls on. He is Steve Wiltfong. I am Josh Pate. And Devon Campbell is who we're about to talk about. We will get his commitment moments from now, Steve. But the player, Devon Campbell, he's a guy that we have talked about all cycle, and I don't think I've heard anyone have more lofty praise for him than you.
Well, I think he's the best offensive line prospect in this class. Yes, he's on the interior, but we've seen the precedent in the NFL drafts with guys like Quentin Nelson going in the top 10. I think this is a young man that has that kind of potential. I think he's an immediate difference maker up front at the school he chooses. He's one of the rare physically ready to go offensive linemen at the point of attack. And the first time I ever talked to his head coach over there at Arlington Bowie, he talked about how this guy could be a top 247 defensive lineman. So he's a guy that brings a unique skill set to this offensive line position.
Let's get you a little bit more information on Devon Campbell, and then we will get his commitment.
Devon Campbell, five-star offensive lineman from Arlington Bowie High School out in Texas, 6'3", 310 pounds, five-star recruit, is the number 9 player overall in the class of 2022 on 24/7 Sports Deposit Rankings, is the top-rated offensive lineman and number 3 player overall in the state of Texas. You look at every year of high school this dude played, he dominated every single year, and he's going to be a big-time get for a D1 program. So this is a guy that can play multiple positions on the offensive line. So when he does get to college, if they need help at the tackle position or at the guard position, Campbell's the guy who could probably fill that need. The thing I love most about Campbell is he really showed off his athleticism, not on the football field, but on the basketball court. This is a guy who dominates in the paint.
I just love the ferocity he plays with, kind of has that nastiness that you have to have in the trenches. One of our top, if not our top offensive linemen at the Under Armour game.
Back on December 15th, Devon Campbell announced his final 2. It's coming down to Texas or Oklahoma. It looks like Texas is the school to beat here. And an NFL comp I got for Devon Campbell is the Minnesota Vikings' Wyatt Davis.
And so Devon Campbell moments away from announcing his decision. There you see the prospect profile, all 5 of those stars, top 10 national rank. And as Steve Wiltfong told you, he didn't see anyone better at the position all year long across the entire country. And with that in mind, we get to the moment that we've been waiting for and you've been waiting for, and I can guarantee you the folks around this young man have been waiting for. We head out to Texas. That is Devon Campbell. Devon, before we get the commitment, I just want to ask you, from your perspective personally, what has this entire process been like for you?
Really, it's just been a different experience. It's been a stressful journey, but I'm grateful for it.
Stressful journey that is about to come to an end, because I turn the floor over to you now, my friend. Let the folks know where you'll be playing your college ball.
First and foremost, I want to thank the man above. Without him, nothing would be possible. I want to thank my friends, my coaches, my family, and importantly, my teammates. With that being said, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be attending the University of Texas.
It is indeed hook 'em horns. It is indeed horns up. Devon Campbell headed to the University of Texas. A huge pickup there for Steve Sarkisian and company. Big celebration underway in the background. This was one that they expected, but it was one that they had to get there. It was one they needed, and we'll talk about this more in just a second. But we're going to take it back to Devon Campbell there now. Always got to try and give party time to settle down. And so, Devon Campbell, now you make it official to Texas. If you can hear me, what was the process like, and what made you decide to stay in state and play for the Longhorns?
Really just being one of the first schools that recruited me, one of the first big schools, consistently showed love and just felt like home.
What's been your perspective? Because we're on the outside, but you actually get recruited by Steve Sarkisian. You get recruited by his staff. What's your impression of that coaching staff there at Texas?
I'm excited for what they got planned, for what they got in store.
Devon Campbell headed to Texas. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to the friends and family there surrounding you, and good luck in your time down the road in Austin.
Thank you.
All right, Steve, so round of applause there. We'll make it official there. Devon Campbell, a guy, again, that you are very high on, heads to Texas. And this kind of adds on to the theme that you were already talking about throughout the day, and that is line of scrimmage Texas recruiting.
Well, there's going on in Austin right now as Devon DJ Campbell caps the best offensive line haul in the country. According to our friend Trey Scott in the studio right now, or back in the control room, this is the first time Texas has signed 2 5-star offensive linemen in the same class as he joins fellow in-state prospect Kelvin Banks. You also have Nito, you have Cameron Williams, and you have Cole Hudson. And the team that is now known as the Washington Commanders won a lot of football games with an offensive line unit called the Hogs. And those 5 guys, I think, are going to be the Hogs for Texas up front and really solidify the offensive line and give this program a new identity. You know, Texas has really struggled at the point of attack, particularly on the offensive line, but here's 5 guys that I think have a chance to really help change this program around and get it back to the winning that they want to see in Austin.
You know, it's important to note here, sometimes we take things for granted because a recruitment does not have a winding road on it. And so folks have assumed for a while Devon Campbell's going to head to Texas. He ultimately does. It doesn't make it any less of a pickup. If I were to just pretend like this was a roller coaster and he shocked the world and committed to Texas today, everyone would be over the moon ecstatic about it. And the point is, they should be anyway. And it's at a position that we have watched some in-state talent leave the state at, and other times we have not seen Texas able to get in-state or out-of-state talent in plentiful enough supply at that position. And we're looking down the road at obviously not only a move to the SEC eventually, but in the meantime, you got to compete week in and week out. And if you ultimately want to achieve your goals, these are the kind of guys you got to get. You got to get more than one of them. This is a huge one to get, though.
And certainly, even if you knew where he was going, it doesn't take away from the celebration that's going on today with him making it official with us here on CBS Sports HQ. But this is a championship-level recruiting haul at the point of attack on both sides of the ball. And it's going to, as Justice Finkley said in his interview in the past with me about Texas, iron's going to sharpen iron. And we heard Jimbo Fisher talk about how in practice, that's got to be some of the toughest competition we see all year. Well, Texas, with the way they've recruited on the offensive line in this class and the defensive line going into Louisiana and landing Jamon Tapp, going into Alabama and landing Justice Finkley, and taking guys out of SEC country. There's going to be some battles up front when ones go against ones down the road here at Texas, and I just love the foundation of this program in the trenches right now.
If we're being real, there are some people out there who still doubt that staff. I'm not saying they're sitting at this desk, but there are a lot of people who do. But I want to go back to a moment during the season where you saw that video get leaked of Bo Davis lighting into guys, probably saying what needed to be said. We just happened to see it publicly. And then remember the aftermath. There was no apology that came out of Austin, nor should there have been, because what got said was reality. And then I'll tell you what I did. I started looking towards the transfer portal. I started looking towards this day, and I started wondering, how much turnover can they have? How much of their guys can they get in the house? And when you look at a recruitment like this, not only was it not drama-filled, but it is also an in-state guy, and it's a guy that was locked in with you and made no bones about saying, I believe in that staff, I believe in that program, that's where I want to go play. When you talk about guys that don't need to be there and guys who do need to be there, this guy fits the latter description.
Well, Texas is one of the more scrutinized programs in the country, and they're a punchline when they're not playing well. And I just hope that people can be patient with this thing moving forward, because I think it's still going to take a little bit. It's not fair to heap expectations on this recruiting class and the guys that they got in the transfer portal and say, let's take a football team that won just 5 games, and now you need to turn around and win 11 and be in that New Year's 6 hunt. I mean, this team's a injured Kansas State quarterback away from being 4-8. So there's a lot of building to be done at Texas right now, but I think they're building it the right way. This class is with what they've done in the portal and the way they've recruited across the board at all positions. This is a nice foundation for them that they can build upon, and I hope that people remain patient. I hope these kids in this class remain patient because I think that this is a haul that can really get things turned around for the University of Texas moving forward.
Anybody ever tell you how much you pop with that green background? I love it. Get that installed at the Wilfong household in Indianapolis.
Hey, green was one of my bar mitzvah colors. I know what green does for me here.
It's probably the line of the day for me. All right, well, Jimbo Fisher's been top there.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.